And good morning. Welcome to the Soulful Illumination Show. We are coming at you today from an area near Area 51, somewhere in a bunker below. And we are so glad to have you coming in today. We want to just welcome everybody traveling around the world, the known universe, through space, time, through dimensional portals, and other realms to the Soulful Illumination Show, the show about spiritual ascension through energetic frequencies, a show about connecting to the collective conscious. We all need to awaken our heart and understand that we are one working together. Just allow those energetic vibrational frequencies to send you into spiritual ascension. I'm your host, the Lady of Laughter and Light, Nicole Borghi. I am a crystal Reiki master, a soulful coach, the sabotage master, and I am a psychic medium, intuitive channeler. What does that really mean? That means that I work holistically, connecting the mind, body, and soul, sharing with you the tools to become the creator of your life. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the true hour of empowerment. I am glad you're here. And as always, I want to put a shout out to my beautiful clients that I work with through the week. Without them, I wouldn't be here to be able to share the show with you live and give this to you. It is my gift to give to you every Thursday morning at 9 Pacific Standard Time. Let's just get a little housekeeping out of the way before we get to our guest. So I want to say thank you to doTERRA for sponsoring that. And you know what? Now is the time to look at and really get into something for you. This is On Guard, and it works to help your immune system. You want to heal, and we can't just do that by ourselves. We have to do that with other sources, with brain body connection, with the food and the nutrients we put in our body, with water and essential oils, because what they do is these ones you can take naturally through doTERRA, and some of them you can take into your body. So it's a strong supplement that you can help with your body and bring your vibration up. And right now we all need to help that vibration and bring it up. We're a little bit times we can have a little bit of sadness, a little bit of angst, a little bit of anxiety or stress. And how do we combat that? We combat that with healing and working and getting our immune system really healthy, right? And the other thing that we can look at today is CellCore. CellCore Biosciences, this is an all natural product and it helps increase our oxygen intake. And you know what? When you're at home, or you're outside and sometimes you have to wear a mask and you're not getting as much oxygen as you should be during these times. So, you know what? Go ahead and combat that and increase your system and add the oxygen. It gets your blood pumping, it gets your blood flowing through your body. It helps increase that breath of life. And we all need a little bit of help sometimes, especially right now. If you want to, if you have some questions, go ahead and you can email me at illuminatingvegas@gmail.com. All the links are down below. You can hit me up on my website and just ask any question or comment that you have. Of course, I am willing to help you out. There's a few things, a little bit of excitement going on this week. So I have a few notes because this next Wednesday, 11/11, I will be speaking at Network at Noon, and I will be working with people on networking and get them to running their business and sharing with others. And we're going to work with that. We are doing it live in Las Vegas, but we're looking at also through the Power Team Center, bringing that on a Zoom. So I'll be working that thanks to Michelle Finnegan Nixon. And also, I want to announce, because Wednesday I'll be putting this out, but I want to announce it today on my show a little bit ahead of time for those of you. This will be live and on Zoom, so you can join us. It's going to be called the Breakthrough Brunch. And what is that? It's going to take you to look at the breakthrough through your inner self. What are you reflecting? How do you want to represent yourself right now? How do you want to ascend? But that really is working with yourself and your subconscious to program at a cellular level and ascend. And you do that through your lineage. And so when you reprogram your cells, they reproduce into happy little cells, and they reproduce better, stronger cells, healthier cells. And you're working with the mind, and how does that benefit you? And so we're going to look at how to break through into that is you, steps on hacking and clearing, and a little bit of my program that I work with, because I'm working with the Sabotage Smashing Summit. You'll hear a little bit more about that each day as we work on that for January. And again, if you have questions about that, this is not on my website yet, you are more than welcome to bring the questions to me through my email. Go to my website or call or text me. All that information will be online. Very excited to be doing this. This is the first time I'm going to be doing a live seminar. It's going to be about a 4-hour seminar. And we're going to be working together with the tribe, doing some meditations, doing some soul work, and some empowerment, and how can you get to those breakthroughs quicker and easier. And that's what I'm looking at this week. Also, one last thing, Monday the 9th at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll be on Facebook chatting with Patty Jo Grover, Patty Jo, and we will be talking about the interview that we just did. That'll be up on Monday the 9th, and we will be corresponding with one another and corresponding with you about what we did. And of course, I talked to Patty Jo, and she's great. She does peer-to-peer counseling, and as I do, she does coaching as well. And we had a little bit of back and forth and how to work with yourself, your emotions at a time right now, this time in need. How can we progress forward, and how can you use this time kind of when you're either locked down, or when you're kind of, if you feel stuck with others and you feel that you can't move forward. We're going to talk a little bit about how to work with those pains and a little bit of angst, and kind of break through on that, and a few tips and life hacks on bringing your level up, ascending up, and bringing your emotions up, so you have a better, healthier mind, which makes for a healthier soul. Today, the reading of the runes. So for the rune energy cast today, what I was downloaded with was, the first one is Dagas, which is a breakthrough, growth, and cosmic connections. And so what is the breakthrough that you're looking at making? And that could be mentally, physically, it could be at a soulful level, the breakthrough that you want in your business. If there's something that you need to change there, that's a breakthrough in relationships, anything like that. What are you about to break through? Because what that breakthrough means is, once you break through, and you break through that energetic wall that you have put up for yourself, that you need to get past. Once you break through, you'll make a cosmic connection, because you're listening to your guided intuition. So when your mind and your heart are together, and the rest of you are aligned, whether that's you're looking at your chakras, your kundalini, your chi energy, however you look at that, once you're aligned mentally and emotionally, you can make that breakthrough. And as you become higher in an energy level, and your energies are higher and clearer, and you're more in the light, and at a heart awakening and a love, you can break through and have connection with the cosmos. And as you do that, as you heal yourself, you're healing others. So just remember that if you want to heal those around you, heal yourself. The second one is Othala. Othala is mountains to climb. What mountains do you have to climb? What are your goals? How do you reach that? And on the adverse, it can be a little bit frustrating, because you have a few hassles and things that have maybe boundaries or barriers have gotten in your way, or your boundaries are down. You can get a little reckless trying to just walk over it and allow other people to stomp through it. Don't do that. You want to make sure that you're not falling down the mountain as you're trying to climb it. You want a team of people to support you. Also, Yira. Yira is harvest, reward. And how do you get to that fruition? So you want the ultimate goal. You're harvesting the seeds that you have sown. So you have to commit to that and you have to nourish that. And that's also nourishing your body and nourishing your soul and self-love. And in order to get that harvest, you want that self-love. So you're ready for that breakthrough and to reach in and grab your goal. And once you are ready for that, that is the reward. One last thing that I was downloaded with, and I want to definitely put this in, is your natural flow. So your body is flowing. What is blocking you? In order to get through that breakthrough, you have to look at, is it your mind, your subconscious? What are you reflecting? And so in order to sometimes see ourselves, we need to look at those around us. What are the people around us doing or saying to us? Are they being a partner in pain, or are they assisting us and supporting us as our tribe well? So that's what you need to look at. That is what's blocking you from that breakthrough. And how can you find out what's blocking you? If you can't see what's blocking you and you're kind of stuck and you're not flowing properly, give me a call. Go to my website, Illuminate Vegas, book a discovery call. It's free, and we can chat about crafting a plan to help you get and reach that breakthrough. That's what I do, and that's what I'm doing at my Breakthrough Summit, right? Awesome. What I'd like to do right now is I am going to introduce my beautiful guest, and I hope I pronounce her name correctly. It's Wafa. She is a published children's author, a translator, and storyteller. She's also a radio broadcaster, lecturer, and corporate responsibility expert. And I love listening to her stories. She tells just these beautiful stories. They're just so soul-filled and loving. And they're kind of like I would say a fable to me. That's what they remind me of, is a fable and a story to share people how they can move along in life, and that they understand what they're doing, and the decisions that they're making. So I'm going to bring her in. Can you go ahead and unmute? I think on your iPad, I can't get you unmuted. Thank you. All right. And let's change so I can get you in. Beautiful. Good morning. Thank you for being here today.
Good morning, Nicole. Thank you for having me. It's wonderful to be on your show. I love the runes. How prophetic is that? My goodness. That was I actually took notes. Here we go. I need to think about these predictions. I like them very, very much. What a way to start a show. I really, really felt very inspired.
Oh, thank you very much. And I'm so grateful to have you here. What got you? Let me start with, first, how do you pronounce your name?
Wafa.
Wafa.
Yeah, that's why I have a little apostrophe at the end, because it's just to put basically it means fidelity in the language of my ancestors. It's a nice quality to have. And lots of songs have been written about it. So it's a nice name in my part of the world where I come from.
Oh, it's so beautiful to know exactly what your name means, and to be able to share that and reflect that on your journey and how you share with people. My name, Nicole, means truth seeker. So I always have that gut-wrenching need to share the truth with people. And I had to learn to bring it down a notch and just to share it in a loving, heartfelt manner. So maybe they can kind of share that. How did you become the storyteller that you are?
How did I become the storyteller that I am? Okay. First of all, I had a grandma who was like 4 foot tall, but she was a force of nature, Nicole. She really was. And when I was a little girl, she didn't live with us. She had her house in the countryside, but she used to come and visit us down in the city where we went to school. And when she came, she had this little handbag, and it was like empty. There was no money in it, but what she had in it was chocolates and sweets and things that when you go to visit in my country of origin, which is Lebanon, people offer you things. And my grandma never actually ate them. She put them in her handbag. So she would come with this little old handbag, and all the chocolates would be melting and the caramel would be oozing. I mean, it was like quite disgusting. But she'd say, bring the handbag. And you'd bring it and you'd be so excited because you could fall onto something really delicious among the disgusting melting things. And then she'd say, okay, now that you choose your sweet, to each one of us, the children, would choose our sweet from her handbag. She would sit us on the bed and she would hold our hand and she would tell us stories. And she was amazing. She was amazing. And this is where I got it. I remember my grandma with so much love. And I just thought, I don't know, it grew on me. Slowly, I became a little bit more like her, I should say. It takes courage to be a storyteller, you know?
And just the thoughtfulness and the emotion that you have, there's just something so soulful and a connection that you have in sharing that. And obviously, because you write books, you share with people, you translate books into stories, and you do so much. And it's just such a wonderful thing to be able to share the spoken word with people.
The word is my story. I remember at 19 when I was starting university in Australia, because, you know, I'm a child of war. My country was in war and I left at 19, went to study in Australia and I lived in Australia for 7 years. I went, you know how we are when we're young. I went to see this guy. I don't know if he's still alive. He's probably 99 years old. His name was, I still remember, Andrew Verity. And he was this guy who is a numerologist. My friend took me. I've never seen or been. Anyway, he did my numbers and everything. And then he did this reading, which I still have on a little cassette. You know, the cassettes that are like cheek, those, yeah. And he, don't calculate my age. And he said, words are your story. You know, I was just first year uni. I don't know what I wanted to do. I had no idea, but that's what he told me. And he is right. A good word in my life makes me so happy. And a bad word actually depresses me. I think words have energy.
Yeah.
And they really affect me.
And they do. I think that, you know, truthfully, they affect everybody. I think to me, everything has an energetic frequency. Things that you wear or things that you say or the person that you are. And especially words, how we say them to one another, how we speak in our love language or share some with somebody else in their love language. And to learn, you know, when I was younger, there wasn't a specific way to talk. Or a specific beautiful way that we communicated. We didn't very well communicate in such a happy form as a family. But it's just so nice now. Better friends. I have better heartfelt connections with the words that I speak to people. And you know, it's so great to express that.
I think words are hugely important. I mean, even the Bible said at the beginning was the word. So that makes us think. I mean, so now I'm way more conscious about words I tell myself and words I tell others. I'm really, other than the fact that I play with words. I mean, that these are my tools and I love them. But also, it's making me way more thoughtful. I try to zip my mouth when I am about to say something unkind or whatever. I just say, do I really have to say it? Do they really need to hear it? No, it's okay. You know, Control, Alt, Delete. But anyway, yeah, words are huge. So yes, I'm a craftsperson of words, and all the things I do are around it. Whether my stories, whether my writing, even translation is basically choosing the words from one language into another language. And I love that part of my work because it kind of makes me, it's like traveling. Basically, traveling doesn't have to just be physical. Traveling can also be through the words. And sometimes, basically, I translate films and documentary films. So here I am listening to people's lives and stories from another region of the world that I am not there anymore.
Yeah.
I've been in Europe for 40 years. So it's just like traveling through their stories. And so that's another thing I like. And the corporate responsibility I did for 7 years. And I was one of the first people, way before Greta was shouting about the earth. You know, I've been vegetarian for 35 years. And way before it became popular, I mean, I just thought I could never kill even an ant. And so, yeah, so it's all like a puzzle. I know on paper it kind of might make people think, ooh, all these things. But, you know, in the olden days with the Renaissance people, they did a lot of things. And I think nowadays we become too specialized. And I think it's nice from time to time to have a Renaissance personality in which you do quite a few things. You know, you don't have to just do one thing.
Well, absolutely, because it's nice. It keeps your mind fresh. It keeps your focus on your life fresh, and you don't get stuck. It's kind of like working out when they say you plateau and you just can't. Your body composition isn't changing, or you feel that maybe you need to incorporate a different exercise. And that's also in your diet. Maybe you need to make a little bit of a change no matter what your regimen is. You need to add a different food or an herb, maybe drink a different tea to kind of change your body, because your body changes, your chemical structure changes as you move, as you grow. The planet changes, and you need to be awakened to that and listen to what your temple's saying, but also the change in the creation. It enhances our senses and our palate to the foods we eat or the things we see. The clothes we wear, a little bit of change. And it's so nice to have not a strenuous change, right? Because that may be something we're not quite ready for, but even a little bit different people we meet, different people we talk to or reach out to. And it's just fun. Maybe one day you're on the treadmill, the other day you're at the park walking around, listening to the birds talk. And it's nice to be able to be creative and have that in your toolbox. The way you even heal. Like one day I'll use crystals, or the next day I'll use a tuning fork or my drum. It just depends on the need, but I have that, and I have the ability to do that, or just use my energy. And it just makes it because you're more aware of what's going on, and you can connect. I think it's definitely on a relationship standard point of view, and gives you the ability to connect to more people.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a very flexible person. You wouldn't believe it. I have never had the same breakfast since ever. I never have the same breakfast ever.
Oh.
You know, when some people say, oh, I like my cereal, it just depends. I wake up in the morning, what I feel like. Sometimes it's fruit. Sometimes it could be a scone, which, the British, they love their scones.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it could be a muffin. Sometimes it could be a boiled. It depends. I listen to my body. What do you feel like? But of course, early in the morning is lemon and hot water. But after that, that's my only kind of rule. It's just listening to my body. And it really makes me very happy because I feel a bit liberated from, oh, you must have your cereal, or you must have this, or you must have that. So yeah, I've been very good like this, listening to my body. And my body's been good to me because, it feels like, I think, a bit cared for, listening to its needs, basically.
Absolutely. And that gives you such a connection when you're connected to yourself and connected to the earth and the environment around you. and just listening to what you need, not always sometimes what we want, but it you start to change and you start to reprogram. If you don't do it now, maybe you can start doing it later in the day or tomorrow, listening to your body and what you're asking. It gives you a better connection. You have that mind, heart, and gut connection, those three emotional bodies. And when you start to feed your gut heartfelt, high vibrational foods, it just, you wake up, your focus is better, and you're doing good for your body. And as you do that, you'll see things, you'll smell things differently, you get different fragrances, different feelings, different sensations or vibrations as you heighten yourself and listen instead of fighting against you.
Absolutely. I think I don't know why we have been programmed to fight against ourselves and to speak harshly against ourselves. We are our own worst critics. That has been the biggest lesson for me, is to be kinder to myself. My mother was Protestant and she was a headmistress of a huge school. So she was quite a tough lady. God bless her. She's now dead. But what happened is that I was brought up with very high standard of hard work. So, whip myself. I've had to learn. I really have had to learn to slow down a little bit more, to be kinder to myself, it's like the best thing I heard when I was doing all this self-help was talk to yourself as if you're like your kindergarten child every morning, rather than talk to yourself like you're a teenage child, your kindergarten child, and then things would change. And now I'm try and remember that, which is a very, very powerful little piece of advice. I know it sounds simple, but it's not easy to implement. We're very harsh on ourselves, whether it's the wrinkles, whether it's whatever it is, we think that, it doesn't please us, yes, maybe the money, not enough money. I mean, all sorts of things. So going back to this kindness towards your inner child is been one of the most important things I've learned to do, in my life.
And that's huge, and that's what I work with in my coaching and my soulful coaching, and I do a lot of self-sabotage because I know I've come from that, whether it's mental, the mental emotional background that I have, never really saying anything nice to one another, nonetheless myself, and sharing with people how do you can get past that pain point, because your subconscious really wants to stop you so you don't feel the pain, and it's trying to be the superhero and come in and swoop down and protect you and keep you from everything. And unfortunately, at the end, it's really not helping you move forward and take the initiative and feel into things or to try things, what works, what doesn't work. And so we set that failure up ahead of time, and telling
Yeah, the
ourselves it's not going to
subconscious,
work. Yeah.
the subconscious wants us to feel safe. And the only way, it's like the historian of our life. It wants us to repeat patterns. And that is another thing that I try and kind of observe in myself. Am I repeating a pattern? Because it's safe to repeat a pattern. And, I have to actually fight doubly about repeating patterns, because I told you before, I'm a child of war. When I was a teenager, there was a civil war in my country. And so safety is very, very important.
Yeah.
So I seek it. I mean, I'm talking about physical safety. So now, sometimes I don't do something because I'm afraid to lose a house, or afraid, so I have to work doubly for another person who hasn't experienced the homelessness, is to let go of that fear and take a new step, because, this fear, it's what keeps you safe.
Yeah.
Or tells you that that's what will keep you safe. But the reality is taking the step is what is the exciting thing to do,
Absolutely, because you're looking to, you know, change doesn't always feel safe within us. You're feeling like you have to survive, and where is that safety? How do you have control with that? But you kind of have to leap in it in a sense to see, what if I do this? What if I do take this challenge? What if I do change this habit and transform it so I can make the change alchemically and at a cellular level, so those cells will want to change that new pattern, that new program. It's kind of going from the old Windows 95 program to the Windows 10 or wherever we're at. You want to upgrade, and in order to upgrade, we have to change the patterns we constantly repeat.
Yes.
And it takes a little bit. It's a challenge, and but you're worth it. It's so worth it. You're worth it. It's worth to yourself. It's worth it to your family or friends to be able to do that. you know
Yes.
um we do have that, but if it is something that works, do we really need to get rid of it? You don't need to change everything. And sometimes that's what makes you the unique person that you are.
I mean, I love Sri and Kira's Archangel Zadkiel's. If it doesn't give you joy, why are you doing it? And that is
Yes.
definitely one of the mottos of my life. If it doesn't give me joy, I really don't do it. I actually say no to certain jobs because I just feel, they're going to depress me. The subject is way too dark. I don't really need that kind of energy in my life. And sometimes you have to say no. Saying no is very empowering. But and that again, I had to learn, with trial and error, because I was too nice, too brought up to say yes and please people. So it was really important for me to learn how to say no, in a nice way, of course. But yeah, that was the third important lesson of my life, actually.
It's very powerful when you establish boundaries. And it's very powerful. For me, for years, I felt kind of like a doormat, like the welcome mat. Everybody kind of wiped their feet on me because I would allow people, whatever, but realizing that, hey, I have to take certain control, and I have to say no. I have to not allow people to cross over that boundary. But it also helps you when you put those good personal healthy boundaries up. You don't allow all that negativity in there, and you can create your life and live in joy, because now you are definitely safe if they don't go around your boundary, unless you open up to certain people, and give that love. And it can be, it's working kind of back and forth. You really have to feel it out, because there are some things that you want to let in, and you can just kind of tiptoe through it and see what works and makes it successful for you. But yeah, living in your happy moments and that joy filled energy and things that make you feel good and that will make you feel good, that makes it more successful, and your vibration is always higher, right?
Talking about vibration, I love the aurora borealis behind you. This is one definitely on my to-do list in life. I have to go and see it really in person. I mean, I really, really, it's one of the things that I just love so much. The lights, the colors. Yeah, I'd love to do it one day. We'll
Oh,
see. COVID is over.
yeah, yeah. It will be over. There will be a day, and we'll be able to go and do and travel and be opened up and see so many things. And I almost think, kind of getting out there again, it'll kind of change the senses, even things that we've done before that we're able to do now, that have kind of been taken away. It's going to bring a different love, and a refresher on that sense of feeling like it's the first time doing it again.
Yes, I like that very much. I think it's nice to think it like this, because we've been so confined at the moment within kind of much narrower frontiers. I think once we're loose again, we're going to appreciate things more. Like, what I'm going to appreciate more, Nicole? Hugging people. I mean, like, I am really looking forward. My daughter, Nicole, my daughter is pregnant and I can't hug her. I'm
Oh.
terrified to give her an infection. She's pregnant, and so I don't want to harm the baby. So, I see her and we're distant, but it's like, my gosh, I really want this to be over so I can hug the people I love that I don't live with. It's just crazy.
Mm. Yeah, taking that making that forceful separation. When I was growing up, we weren't really close. We didn't really hug, but learning that sense of feeling and touching, and just that feeling of security, or just that warm, strong hug of love. It's just so meaningful and impactful. Now to have that taken away again, it's like, whoa, whoops.
Yeah.
We need to find that, but then kind of, for me, maybe meditating or kind of picturing that warmth and feeling into that energy kind of helps me to think, okay, I can feel that sense and submerge myself into how that feeling was, so I can feel that again and bringing that back up. It's kind of my for me to manifest that again, to be able to do that, and to touch people, and to say hello, and to allow them back into my auric field and into my space in a loving manner.
That's a very nice, again, advice you're giving. I like it.
Yeah. It's just that warmth to feel, to think and do. And we're going to definitely do that here, because in Las Vegas, we're kind of open. So, we're able to get a little bit closer and see people. And so I'm very thankful for that right now, to see somebody. I had been able to share a space and see a friend the other day. And so I was very thankful for that, to see them in person. And I hadn't seen them in a long time. And, I see them on Zoom every week in a Toastmasters club, and we do our speaking and our presentations, and that's why I joined, because it was in person. And now it's like, okay, I got to see them. I'm so thankful that I got to see them in person. They're healthy. And I took that moment and to be, okay, I have this one moment. I'm going to be very thankful for that and share the love and that energy. And hopefully soon we'll be together again, right?
Well, in the UK, today was the first day of another lockdown.
Oh, well.
It's like the spring yeah, today is like you can't leave the house unless you have to go for groceries or the doctor or the pharmacy. It's that strict.
Wow.
So, but I was lucky. 2 weeks ago, my daughter came up and she spent the weekend with me, and it was just so blissful, to be able to see her and cook for her, and just see the little tummy growing. It was just very lovely.
Oh, that's wonderful. How exciting. Is it her first child?
The first child, my first grandchild. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm so excited. I never thought I would be, but I am really excited. And funnily enough, her husband said to me, because when I launched my book, I read a story from it at the launch. And he said to me, "Mother-in-law, you are now being appointed the chief storyteller for the baby." And I just said, "Okay, Nicholas." So yeah, I'm being appointed already the baby storyteller.
That's awesome. How beautiful. And you get more stories to share for the baby. Do you create stories? Are you going to create stories for this one special for the baby?
Sure, absolutely. This baby is definitely going to have his or her story. I'm really excited about the baby. But at the moment, what I'm passionate about, and a few months before the baby arrives, Nicole, is this divine feminine. I'm like, specifically, as I said, I come from the Middle East, from Lebanon, and the feminine used to be huge. in the prehistoric days, when you go to the museum, you see these women with these beautiful breasts and the beautiful buttocks, and they were really the primary divinities, were the women. But then, and we had amazing female goddesses. And I'm talking all over the region, even in Arabia. They used to worship female goddesses. And then it's all become, completely different. It's way stricter, way harder to be a woman there. And that is why, and I've been all my life, I think that's the thread of my life, is about empowering women. Whatever I do, whether it's the stories, whether it's a translation, whether it's the CSR, because CSR has a compound of diversity and gender equality. So that's why I'm really excited to share with you my new book, which is hot off the press. It's just like a few weeks old, and it's called Amazing Women of the Middle East. That's actually the British cover. The American cover is nicer. It's got women all around it here. But and you can find it in America. You just say Amazing Women of the Middle East. And we've got some really amazing role models like Cleopatra, like Scheherazade, the Queen of Sheba, Nefertiti, Semiramis, who was queen of ancient Iraq, Zenobia, who was a queen of ancient Syria, Theodora, who was the empress of Byzantium, which is now Turkey. You've got the first Sufi mystic. I do Sufi voices. And I did this wonderful, the first woman saint in Islam, Rabia al-Adawiyya, who was also a poetess. We've got the first ruler of Egypt woman after Cleopatra in Islamic times. We've got Hurrem Sultan. She was the wife of of the Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, and she was an amazing woman. Then you've got a little bit more recent, like 100 years ago, kind of people like writers or freedom fighters or translators or artists or singers. And then you got the more contemporary one. About half of it is ancient women, 12, and 12 of them is contemporary, still living women. And I'm really excited about it, because most people think, with all what is happening, that the women in the Middle East are sitting at home and doing nothing. And this is not true. This is not true. They are bringing up children. They are doing things. Okay, it's like everywhere in the world. You've got women who are not doing as much as others, but it's difficult to say a woman is doing nothing. Even, having a family is huge.
Yes.
Yes,
it's not just, it's a job, it's a love, it's creation. It's sharing, it's relationships, it's connections, it's nourishment. There's so much to being a mother and to having a family, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. I brought up 2 children. I had 2 stepchildren as well. That's 4. And I was traveling all around the world following my husband, who was a foreign correspondent. So every 2-3 years, we had to up sticks, change countries, change schools, change jobs. That's why I did all these little jobs, because all of them become my smorgasbord. But I had to be very flexible. Maybe this country doesn't need a translator, then I will be a teacher. And this country doesn't need a teacher, then I'll be a translator. So, I had to be flexible in the way I was. But again, it had to do with words. Words were my story. And so I'm really, really excited about this new book. And because it makes people think a little bit more about stereotypes. We tend to stereotype people a lot.
Yeah.
Stereotype even people from our families. We just decide, okay, Aunt B, for instance, is this, that, and the other. But do we actually bother listening or talking to Aunt B and getting to know the other fun side of Aunt B, who likes dancing or singing or doing karaoke? We don't. We tend to put people in boxes. And so that is the whole point of me doing my book, is getting people out of the box, and in a fun way. It's just 2 pages with a beautiful picture. For instance, I just show you, this is one picture.
Oh, wow. Yes. I
I
like
mean, it's
that.
really, yeah, this is a queen. She was an amazing queen. She was a freedom fighter, and she fought the Romans
Oh,
for
wow.
independence because Rome was huge and powerful in those days, and wanted everybody to just bow, and she fought them. Of course, eventually she was defeated. But I mean, there's even somebody that I think that the Americans in Las Vegas would actually know. George Clooney's wife.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Amal Clooney, well, she's of Lebanese origin, like me, and she's brought up in Britain, and she's an amazing human rights lawyer, and she fights for amazing causes. And she has this foundation with George, which is empowering women. And
Oh,
that is
wow.
why I chose her, not because she's George's wife, but because she really, although George is gorgeous, but she really is with him working on really worthwhile. They've got a foundation, the Clooney Foundation, and they do a lot of work for women in the Middle East, like distributing iPads, providing transport for girls to go to schools, things like this, distributing books for people who can't afford it, school books, so they can go and study. I mean, extraordinary. So yeah, I mean, there's some amazing. There is this woman pilot.
Look at her. I love those
Yes,
pictures. They're so fun.
I know. We had 5 illustrators. So I was the only writer, but we had 5 illustrators. So each one is a tiny bit different, but they all got together. And it's a very colorful book. She's a pilot from Oman, and she actually pilots jets.
Oh,
I mean, she
wow.
studied in Australia, and and another amazing woman, she lives in America. I don't know if you know about her. She is an astronaut.
Mm, mm.
Here she is. She's of Iranian origin. She went to the space station, and she actually orbited, space. She was the first Muslim space tourist woman
Wow.
in the world.
Wow. What an achievement.
I
What
know
an
that
achievement.
every one of them has achieved. There is even the last one in my, there's an ice skater, a young ice skater who lives in the Middle East where there's no ice. So it's all artificial ice, but she competes.
Oh,
And what she
wow.
managed to do was to change the laws to allow her to compete with a headscarf, because the
Oh,
laws of competition did not allow the athletes to wear a headscarf. And she managed to change it.
mhm.
And here she is.
Oh, wow. Look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That
she's
is
cute.
awesome. And it's just so wonderful. If you put your mind to it, what you can change or accomplish or do for others, even yourself. And that gives people a drive to take initiative and change things too. It might not change without you. You may be the one that needs to be that part of it and take the lead, or find a group of people that'll help you make that change, and just taking the initiative instead of sitting back and being like, oh wow, I don't get, I can't have this, or this isn't in law or anything. You can make that change yourself, and make that difference. It's there for everybody to do.
I
um,
mean, the whole point of the book is about role models, and it's
yeah,
about a smorgasbord of role models, because, I don't want people to think, the only way to be famous is to be an actress or to be a model.
yeah,
You don't have to be famous. You just have to love what you do. And if you do it with love and with, diligence, you will reach your goal. I mean, another one that definitely is my role model, Nicole. She's a woman who was discovered, listen to this, at age 97.
oh wow,
She died age 102. She was working for 60 years as an artist,
oh,
as a sculptor, as a painter, abstract. So introducing abstract art to the Middle East. And people were poo-pooing her ideas. She had studied in Paris as a young girl, and then she came back and tried to implement. And 60 years she worked and worked, and only completely by chance. You know, the Tate in Britain is a wonderful museum. It's a really stunning modern art museum. They send scouts all over the world to try to find new artists, and they stumbled upon this 97-year-old woman.
Oh my
And
gosh.
they were like mind blown. And she had her exhibition at the Tate, age 97. And it was a sold out exhibition. I mean, it wasn't to buy, it was just, exhibit. But the tickets were sold out. People loved it. And now her stuff is starting to be bought by, after her death, she died age 102. They're starting to be bought by major museums. But it took her that long. And that for me is my role model. Is like, if it's going to take me 60 years to be discovered, I don't mind. Somebody else did it before me. And yeah, I mean, they're all fantastic ladies. And I'm really excited that, I've done this work. I mean, I don't know. I'm really very proud of this book.
It's amazing that you share that and give people not only the story, but the understanding that it's possible, and to see other people and to see their adventure or their journey. And maybe that's possible for you, but sometimes it's something to feel good about, and to know that what people are doing and achieving and how we can change, or about our past even, and how that came to be.
People need to feel good. I mean, specifically with COVID, they need to know that there is hope. Yeah, that is the woman who died 102. She was an abstract sculptor.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, she's an interesting woman.
Very awesome.
And working by herself for 60 years, people not exhibiting her work because they thought it was too way out there.
But it's her passion, definitely her passion. We're getting ready. We're close to the end. We got about 2 minutes left, but how do people get your book or find you?
Well, my book is available in America on Amazon or Interlinks. So please just go Interlinks, Amazing Women of the Middle East. You get it. And you can find me, you can write to me on my website, www.wafatarnowska.co.uk. And I have a page where you can write to me and I will answer you. I answer all the people who write to me. If you want to start the conversation with me, I'm very happy to converse with you. And it's my website. You will see my other books and all the other things I do. But Nicole, thank you for having me. I'm so grateful, really, for this conversation and to meet you. I hope one day I'll go to Vegas. It's another of my dreams,
One day, absolutely. I would love to meet you. And it's such gratitude I'm able to host people on my show and have them come and just enjoy a conversation and just conscious connection. So thank you so much. It has been my honor to share with you and to learn about you and your story and how you share with others. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. It's so great to be here and be on this journey with everybody. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, join the tribe, go to YouTube and Facebook. We're on every Thursday. Have a great day. Bye-bye.